All right, so problem number one says the factor. This right here, number one, is a basic factoring problem using the basic diamond method. Because the A term, and this is A, B, C, where A, B, and C are the parameters of the equation, because the A is an imaginary one here, we're going to be using basic diamond method to factor this. So I'm going to go off into the side. My C goes on top, my B goes at the bottom. You multiply to get C, and you add to get B. Okay, so then let me go ahead and just set this all up. All right, the two numbers that multiply to give me 10 but add up to give me 7 are 5 and 2. Now you notice I said factored form, therefore I don't want the zeros, I just want this in factored form. This is your factored form for number one. So number one is a basic example factoring. The factoring that you'll be expected to do will require much more than just the basic diamond method. You will be required to master all these factoring techniques, including the advanced or the modified diamond method, and when you also have to factor out a common term and then do the diamond. So we're going to take a look at those. You can pause the video whenever you need to pause and redo some on your own. Take a look at number two. So number two says factor 5q squared plus 30q minus 80. Okay, so in this case, my A term, A, B, C, is not 1. Therefore, this will not be using basic diamond. Well, maybe, right? When my A term is not 1, you either are going to use the modified diamond, or you want to notice that actually 5 is a common factor in A, B, and C. So why don't we actually first factor out the 5, and maybe we could use the basic diamond method. And this is going to be actually the way to do it. So when you notice that there is a common factor, you want to first factor that out. So I noticed that 5 is a common factor, so I'm going to first pull that out. So you're left over with q squared plus 6q minus, and then 5 times, I believe, how much 5 is going to 80? 20, 18, you can use a calculator, shoot. Yep, 16, therefore, so there we go. All right, now, looking at only in here, I'll take care of this later, just looking at in here, we can now use just basic diamond method, because now if we look in here, A is now 1, so A, B, C. So let's go ahead and do basic diamond now to factor this inner part. So C is on top, B is at the bottom, multiply to get C, add to get B. So then my C is negative 16 and my B is 6. So the two numbers that multiply to give you negative 16 and add to give you 6. So I know 8 and 2, and if 8 minus 2 gives me 6, so why don't I try 8 and negative 2? That's negative 16, add these together, that gives me 6, that works. So then this part right here factors into x plus 8 and x minus 2. Do not forget that there's a 5. You have to bring that down. This is your total factored form. If you were to FOIL these out and then distribute the 5, you'll get your original. So you could always double check your answer. So that's how you do a problem like number 2. So as you can see, I did not need to use modified diamond method. If you did use modified diamond method, you may have lost this 5, and it would not have given you the correct factored form, unless you figure out a way to make that work for you. All right, now let's go on to number 3. Okay. Number 3 is factor 12 minus 40m plus 32. So I already noticed that because these are all even, I know that I can at least factor out a common 2, right? I don't think I could pull out a 12 because 12 doesn't go into 40, so I know I can't pull out a 6. But, 5 times 12, it looks like a 4, right? 8 times 4 is 32. It looks like the common greatest factor that I can pull out from there is 4. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to factor out the greatest common factor. So you're left over with 3 here, 10 here, plus 8. There you go. So now there are no more common factors for me to pull out. Now, once you get to here, in order to factor this one, because A is not 1, so the A, B, C, because this is not 1, we're going to be using the modified diamond method. So then, let's see, I'm just going to double check that my camera is able to see the side of the board. Where are we? There we are. Sorry. There we go. Now you can see. All right. So modified diamond method is when the A term is not 1, it's A times C on top and B at the bottom. So then this is 3 times 8, which will be 24. And then my B is negative 10. So two numbers that multiply to give me 24 and add to give me negative 10. Immediately I could think of negative 4 and negative 6. They multiply to give you positive 24, they add to give you negative 10. Alright, but remember, in modified diamond method, you are not done yet. You must divide by AX. My A term, remember we're looking at this inner part, is just 3. Let's not look at that 12. We're looking at the part that we factored out the 4. That's this inner part of the one that we're doing the modified diamond on. So anyways, divide both of these by 3x. And then you reduce. Remember, that was the next step here. You reduce. I know there's a glare, but I hope you could see that. But anyways, this one here reduces, so I can cancel out a 3 from the top and the bottom. So you have negative 2 over x. This, you can't cancel out anything. So my factored form is take the bottom, add it to the top. So I'm going to go over here. My 4 comes down. Then I have 3x minus 4. And then I have x minus 2. This is my fully and complete factored form. So this is number 3. This is the more complex of the factored forms, but you are still expected to excel in this, and I will see that in today's iExcel. So the goal is to get 100. If you don't understand number 1, 2, or 3 on this do now, please make sure you re-go over these problems and do them over again so that you do understand. I look forward to your work.